Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to this week's Tigers edition on Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio. We are in the top of the 11th inning with one out after Suarez pinch hitting struck out. Now Alex Avila 0 for 4 up now against Cecil. He's a left-handed pitcher, and Avila has struggled mightily against left-handed pitching. Struck out a lot against lefties too. First pitch is low and outside, 1-0. Questions of the day: are the starting rotation and bullpen in trouble with the injury bug after Anibal Sanchez and Joakim Soria went down with tight sides? And what can the Tigers do to improve their offense? The number to call or voice your opinion is 646-478-4837. Once again, that number is 646-478-4837. But I want you to support your opinion with explanative details. Find me on Facebook, YouTube, Google, and Pinterest as Taylor Phillips. Google Plus and Pinterest as Taylor Phillips. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page. And join my Facebook group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group, to become a more educated, serious, and loyal Detroit sports fan, and follow me on Twitter and Tumblr at DT2Phillips. That is DT2Phillips. As Avila bombs a double to left center field on a 1-2 pitch. With one out. There's also a chat window on blogtalkradio.com on all my episodes of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show for you to comment on with your opinions. And Alex Avila will take a seat, and Brian Holiday will pinch hit for him. And there's also a pitching change as Fox Sports Detroit heads to break. We are tied at 5 after Jabba Chamberlain gave up a game-tying RBI single by Jose Reyes, who now has 2 RBI singles. Chamberlain thus far is now 0 for 2 in save opportunities this season, and that's a lot worse than Joe Nathan. In my opinion, 6 blown saves statistically is worse than two blown saves, but not getting any saves at all in your record this year is a lot worse. Dustin McGowan pitching now 68 1/3 innings. 38 games, 4.33 ERA, a whip of 137, 52 strikeouts, 28 walks. Andrew Romine is waiting on deck. There's Brian Holiday at on second base. As McGowan keeps warming up. Guidelines: if you have called in, stay on the line. If you hang up, redial the number and then stay on the line. Also, keep it clean. Don't say anything silly or way out of context. This is a serious talk show. Uh, Tigers losing 3 of 4 previously in the Bronx to the New York Yankees, and then splitting the first 2 games with the Blue Jays. The rubber game is in extras right now, as mentioned before, at 5 apiece in the top of the 11th, with pinch runner Brian Holiday on second after an Alex Avila double and 1 out. Andrew Romine takes the first pitch right down Broadway for strike 1. And the standings look like this right now. The Tigers are 63 and 51 going into this game. The Royals are 62 and 53, a game and a half back of the Tigers for the AL Central Division lead. The Indians are 6 games flat back at 59 and 59. 0-2 on Romine now, batting .185 against lefties, but .324 against righties. The 0-2 is outside, 1-2. White Sox are 9 back, 56 and 62, and the Twins 12.5, 51 and 64. Got less than 2 months left in the regular season. Romine just struck out, and now there are 2 out. Still tied at 5, top 11. The Kansas City Royals lead the San Francisco Giants 7-4 in the top of the 8th. Rajai Davis fouls. It's the first pitch off in the dirt. 1 strike, the count. The Cleveland Indians beat the New York Yankees 4-1 in the Bronx to salvage 1. The chat window is finally on. It had technical difficulties for a few minutes, but now it's back on. Rajai Davis is .360 right now, career with runners in scoring position, or this season rather. That's pretty good. The 0-1 or Rajai? High, 1-1. The week ahead, Tigers play the Pittsburgh Pirates in a home-and-home set of series, which are 2 games each. First in Pittsburgh at PNC Park, both at 7:05, and then at Comerica Park in Detroit, with the Wednesday game starting at 7:08, and the Thursday game in the afternoon at 1:08. Then the Tigers continue their 5-game homestand with a 3-game series against the hungry Seattle Mariners. The Mariners have had the Tigers' number thus far. But it wasn't with, but it's not. It doesn't come with much competition when the Mariners beat the Tigers. My opinion point segment is about Joe Nathan. After 9 consecutive saves, Joe Nathan finally got his 6th blown save of the season yesterday, which is 1 more than former Tigers closing pitcher Jose Valverde has ever blown in a single season in his career. 3-1 on Davis. This is not all Joe Nathan's fault, however. In 3 of Nathan's 6 blown saves, including the one that occurred in yesterday's game in Toronto, Brad Ausmus put him in for a 2nd consecutive game after Nathan threw 25 pitches Friday. Davis pops the 3-1 pitch up, third base side foul territory. And the catch is made, and we go to the bottom of the 11th. Still tied at 5. I think Ausmus has been overusing Nathan at times this season thus far. But Nathan is also in his late 30s, aging pretty quickly. Assuming his arm may have very little left in his tank, some of you fans think that he should retire. So do I. General Manager Dave Dombrowski apparently should have signed a younger and more reliable closer and signed him to a contract last offseason instead of signing a veteran who may have already passed his prime just this season. Brad Ausmus is a rookie manager who apparently doesn't quite know how to manage in the major leagues yet. He's mostly Ivy League baseball managing material. But the rookie manager thing reminds me of Alan Trammell as manager of the Tigers in 2003, who led them to a 119-loss season and got fired in 2005. The Tigers need a smarter and more experienced Major League Baseball manager. I'm thinking Terry Francona, nicknamed Tito. His Indians are still a sinking ship right now, struggling to catch up, sitting in 3rd place in the AL Central Division. He had won 2 World Series championships with the Boston Red Sox in 2004 and 2007. It's time for General Manager Dave Dombrowski to bring Francona into the dugout and try to help get Mike Ilitch his first ever World Series ring as Tigers owner. I don't think Ausmus and Nathan are enough this year. Secondly, the injury bug is starting to get a bit worse on the pitcher's mound after it recently got better offensively. First, they lose Anibal Sanchez to a strained side on Friday. Then yesterday, they lost reliever Joakim Soria to the same exact injury after he pitched out of a bases-loaded one-out jam. He was about to pitch the 10th inning. They both have to get an MRI the following day each, which really damages the entire pitching staff, starting and relief combined. Dombrowski has to get on the phone right now and start thinking waiver trades for the bullpen and call a real starter up from the minor leagues, which has been announced already. Robbie Ray will take over for Anibal Sanchez on Wednesday at home against the Pirates in the first of 2 at Comerica Park. Robbie Ray has had an up-and-down minor league minor league time. Struggled quite a bit, but has done well as of late as well. Blaine Hardy throws 2 pitches and it's 1-1 on Colby Rasmus, who was 1 for 4 in the single with a single in the 7th. Next pitch is fouled away off the screen, 1-2. I also want to get to Miguel Cabrera's recent struggles. Sean Windsor from the Detroit Free Press, a sports writer, writes that Detroit Tigers first baseman Miguel Cabrera is not the same hitter he's been in the last few seasons. That's not to say he won't be again, it's just to say he isn't right now. If it seems unfair to bring this up, well, it is, because we're comparing Cabrera to one of the best right-handed hitters in the history of baseball, and comparisons to your former self are so often unflattering. Yet 2/3 of this season has passed, and Cabrera's numbers are at a 6-year low. That he remains among the American League leaders in batting averages and doubles, as Blaine Hardy fans Rasmus for the first out of the bottom of the 11th. Cabrera is first in that category, speaks to his otherworldly talent, and yet do we really need numbers to tell us something isn't quite right? His power numbers are down, just as telling, so are his walks. Few hitters in the game combine balance and power the way Cabrera does. He taught his slugger's frame to behave like a contact hitter, resulting in a kind of liquid power. He was born with dancer's feet and lottery luck hand-eye coordination, but it's the way he handles the bat that has made him appointment viewing. Kawasaki up now, facing an 0-2 count. As his manager Brad Ausmus said, quote, Miguel Cabrera's swing is so good that even when he's not right, he gets his hits. There's not many people you can say about that, unquote. Ausmus has a talent for sounding substantial but revealing little. If you guys can listen clearly. That statement, however, says a lot. Cabrera is not himself, at least not by his all-time standard. He is also not completely healthy, if by health we meant he hasn't recovered from off-season off-season surgery to repair a torn core muscle. Same for Verlander. 2-2 on Kawasaki now. Last pitch was in the dirt. The first baseman admitted as much during the All-Star break when he told USA Today he hadn't regained the strength in his lower half. This was a surprising admission from Cabrera, who generally doesn't like talking about himself and hates to make excuses. Fine, I'll make one for him. He deserves a pass this year. It's easy to look at his age and think his dip is simply natural selection, the loss of fast twitch muscle, or however else you want to describe getting old. And sluggers age faster than contact hitters, which could explain why Cabrera is still having success hitting the ball, just not as much success hitting the ball a freakishly long way. Kawasaki just flew out to center, 2 out. Reyes drives one up down the line. It not quite down the line. It's caught by Don Kelly. 3 up, 3 down for Blaine Hardy. I think, however, that the more subtle issue here is a break in Cabrera's routine. Like most transcendent athletes, Cabrera relied on an overachiever's work ethic to buttress his natural gifts he spent last fall and winter unable to work, and has been forced to use the season as he would an off-season. Ausmus said as much too. He quoted, Cabrera puts work in to keep his swing there. It's not like his swing is something he was born with, unquote. Cabrera isn't such an outlier that he will beat the aging process. The odds are against him performing at 35 like he did at 29. But he's still just 31, and the drop in his slugging percentage, for example, more than 100 percentage points from a year ago, is not the beginning of a decade-long fade. Cabrera may not reach the all-time plateau of the last 2 seasons, though I'm not convinced he won't. Even before his ascension that began in 2012, he was among the top few hitters in baseball, and he can certainly get back there. The last time Cabrera put up such human numbers was in 2008. Oh, we go to the 12th, by the way, after that 1-2-3 inning by Blaine Hardy. That was the first year Cabrera was away from his second home in Florida, a season in which he faced expectations as the missing piece and a slew of new pitchers in the American League. Cabrera rebounded to take 4th in the MVP vote the following year and hasn't been lower than 5th since. The Tigers' first baseman deserves time to regain his form and to get back the routine that put him on the path to history. Cabrera previously won 2 straight AL MVPs the last 2 years. The swing is still there. Sooner or later, the "did you see that" will be there too. That's the end of that article. That concludes this week's Tigers Source Feed segment. Now the fan feedback segment. there were more fans on one Detroit News Free Press about the 2-1 loss to the Yankees, bashing Kate Upton again on Justin Verlander's loss to the Yankees. Somewhere you were saying Kate Upton is a distraction. Her private parts are causing Verlander to suck or lose. Justin, that's a bunch of crap. I apologize for that.
I want you here. What's your problem there, pal? Can't I get a bit of sleep? Don't talk to me.
Verlander pitched absolutely well, despite giving up 2 home runs, 2 costly solo home runs in the 5th and 7th innings, and you treat Verlander and Upton like this? Are you kidding me? I don't know whether you're joking around or just getting all frustrated and just want to be cute and creative and crap. All of you Kate Upton bashers are not doing any homework by looking at any of Verlander's stats his last few outings. Miguel Cabrera, by the way, is up now with a 2-0 count. Cabrera lifts one to left center field. It's not going to be enough, though. The catch is made for the second out of the top of the 12th. But if you think you're just going to make a joke about it, you're worse than you think. Like you simply don't even care about Verlander's stats. Enough of the Kate Upton talk, okay? Kate Upton has no bearing on the outcomes of the games that Verlander starts in on the mound. You fans should be mentally and verbally ashamed of yourselves. You need to look around. You need to look more around baseball rather than just simply bash and blame a hot girl that belongs to a starting ace. Those beautiful women are innocent. They're kind. And they're caring. They're everything good, in my opinion. And you're bashing hot girls for every Tigers loss, especially that Verlander is involved in. What's this?
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. To start your show now. Press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay, sorry about that. So you're trying to blame hot girls for hot, sweet, innocent, good-looking, and caring girls and women for every Tigers loss that, especially that Verlander is involved in? Give me a break.
I want you here. What's your problem there, pal? Can't I get a bit of sleep? Don't talk at you.
I'm telling you what, those that bash a hot girl for anything are a bunch of morons. And I don't think they should pay attention to sports at all when they just want to keep staring at hot girls all their lives. You know what? You have two choices. If you want to be a sports fan, pay more attention to the sport and forget the hot girls. Otherwise, don't pay attention to sports at all. And just gaze away at the hot chicks for all I care. All you want. 3-2 to Victor Martinez. I'm going to fill up the rest of the time here. This is my first 5 p.m. edition, first ever 5 p.m. edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show, because I have to get up really early for my new full-time job. Victor Martinez just drew a walk issued by Dustin McGowan. And now Torrey Hunter is up now, 2 for 5 with 2 singles and a run scored. Tigers need at least a run. McGowan sets. First pitch to Hunter. Way high, 1-0. Dustin McGowan has thrown 34 pitches after that one thus far today. A bit of technical phone connection difficulties here, but I'm back on the air. Hunter career against McGowan, 333, 4 for 12 with 4 strikeouts. That 4 strikeouts isn't good at all. The 2-0 is in there for strike 1, 2-1. My time is running out here. You can also hear me on Spreaker every day, and every week in between my Blog Talk Radio podcasts. I have another Spreaker episode of Taylor's Detroit Sports coming up later tonight, after I call into Sean Stewart's fantasy football draft show live, which begins at 6 p.m. Come join me. Sean Stewart tagged me in a status. Torrey Hunter just singled to center, and Victor Martinez is at second. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll be back here on Blog Talk Radio for another Tigers edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show next Sunday at 5 p.m. Till then, this is Taylor Phillips saying TTFN, ta-ta for now.